Hello, welcome back to my channel, guys. I wish you guys a very happy new year. 2020 is behind us, 2021 is here, and I want to be more consistent in all aspects of my life. I promised myself that I would be more consistent. Today I'm bringing you guys, like you read in the title, my first trimester recap. Yes, that is true. I am expecting baby number 3. It is a girl. We know the gender. Right now, while I'm filming this, I'm actually 19 weeks today. I know I'm a little late for filming my first trimester recap, but I'd rather film it late than not film it at all because I really want to document this pregnancy because it might just be our last one. I'm saying that might so lightly because for me, it's my last one, but uno nunca sabe, you know? So yes, I have everything written down here in my phone, and I'm super excited to share with you guys because I know that at the beginning of my pregnancy, this is what I was watching on repeat, you know, first trimester recaps, what I eat in a day. So I have a lot of ideas to share with you guys, and I just want to bring you guys along on this journey. If you follow me on my other social media, you guys know that I love sharing everything with you guys. My weight loss journey, what I eat, you know, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, my injury, endometriosis, everything. Whew, I can't breathe. This pregnancy shortness of breath, it is real. So if you're new here, my name is Zulma, 27 years old. I have 2 other girls. That makes it sound like I have a damper on that, but no, I do not. I am a girl mom and I love it. I have a 9-year-old named Camilla and a 5-year-old named Isabella, and then little baby who is yet to have a name. And once we have a name, we'll announce it when she's born, I promise. Before I get into like the week by week breakdowns, I wanted to share with you guys, because I really liked when people did this in the videos that I watched. I wanted to share with you guys how it is that like I just knew that I was pregnant, because a lot of the times it's hard because as women, our premenstrual symptoms and our early pregnancy symptoms can be pretty much the same. But this time around, right before my expected period, I was getting left pelvic throbbing. It was like pulling. It almost felt like I had a ovarian cyst about to rupture, and it was just like the weirdest thing. And on top of that, I was also experiencing breast pain. Like they say tenderness, no, it was just pain. I remember having to shower literally like this. I was trying everything, like wearing sports bras, not wearing a bra, trying the most to get that pain to go away. But in my mind, I'm like, no, something is off. Very bloated. I mean, with endometriosis, you're already bloated as it is. So imagine being more bloated than that. I was like, I can't breathe. A decrease in appetite, which for me is very rare. I like to eat and I have no problems with that. But when I'm not eating, I have to be sick or something is wrong. That's how you know. I remember a time specifically, we brought the kids to get chicken nuggets, and just having them in the car, mind you, this was before finding out. I asked Johnny, I was like, can you please put the window down? And I had my head out of that window like a dog. Like when you take a dog on a joyride, I was like, ugh, like just the smell of them, I could not. And I remember he was teasing me like, are you? And I'm like, I don't know, am I? I really had no clue. In the back of my head, I thought so, but I was like, I don't know. I did test 2 days prior to my period being due, and it was negative. So I was like, okay, I'm like, maybe I'm just like overthinking every little symptom and imagining things. But I just had that feeling in the back of my mind. On October 3rd, when my period was about 3 days late, I tested again. I'm talking first morning urine, like, we're gonna make this happen. 6 a.m. I remember, and it was positive. It was a faint positive, and I was like, oh my god, like, do I wake him up? Like, I was just like in shock, and I'm like, a faint positive. It was different to me because with my other 2, my positives were digital. That was the first test I took positive right away, and so I was used to just seeing that. And so seeing it faint, I'm like, is it an evaporation line? Like, you know. I called the doctors. I went in for a urine test, and that was faint as well. So he was like, okay, well, we're gonna do a blood test. The results came back and they were in the low 500s, and I remember feeling discouraged. Not discouraged because I have a history of loss or anything, you know, thank God, but just because I've read and heard so many stories about it being like a chemical pregnancy or anything like that. And thankfully, when they called me back in a week later, they did the test again and it had doubled, which is what they're looking for. Sorry about the lighting, guys. It's like overcast today, so I look super pale. I promise you I'm not this pale. So it had doubled, so I was really excited about that. Doctor had verified that I basically found out at like the 4-week mark, which for me was the earliest I had found out with any of my pregnancies. He did send me for an ultrasound to confirm the pregnancy because I had mentioned to him that left pelvic throbbing, pulling that just wouldn't go away. It was like it would hurt to lift my leg. That's how bad it was. And he just wanted to confirm that the pregnancy was healthy and not an ectopic one. So we did that. I'll put the picture here. All they saw was the sac, which was another thing that made me nervous, and you'll see why we announced later than we did with our other two, because I just wanted to feel, I don't want to say secure, because during pregnancy there's so much that can happen, but I just wanted to feel at peace before announcing to the world. So starting with week 5, because since I found out so early, starting at week 5, I had dizziness, extreme exhaustion, and when I say extreme, like if you know me, I'm like a go type of person. I'm always doing something around the house with the girls, and it was just like, no. It was like, I just need to nap, and I'm not someone who takes naps, so it was hard for me to like settle down and actually listen to my body. The tender breast did not go away. It still hasn't gone away, but that's giving too much from the second trimester, right? For the first time in any of my pregnancies, I had that metallic taste when drinking water. It was only when drinking water, and get this, only when drinking water out of plastic. I had this like huge jug. It was my gallon a day jug, and I had to stop using it. I would show you guys my cup, but it's over there. I now use like a glass cup with a straw, and that's what I refill on a daily basis to drink my water. In week 6, that's when the frequent urination started. Aversions. This is what we need to talk about, aversions, because my aversions are so bad. With all of my pregnancies, they've been this way, and the sad part is sometimes after the pregnancy, I still can't consume the things that I had an aversion to. My aversions are chicken, which is such a shock to me because I love chicken in all shapes, ways, or form. It's my favorite, usually my favorite type of protein, but like even talking about it right now, like it's a no from me. Onions. They can't even be in the food. I will literally pick them out like a toddler, and it is so embarrassing, like when people cook for me or like when we go out to eat and I'm like, yeah, no. And anything spicy. And I'm usually the type, like I love like even like the chile candies, like with the Mexican like tajin and everything like that. Like I love all of that, and I cannot because it just hurts my stomach so bad and I get so sick. With the appetite decrease as well. In week 7, things got interesting because in week 7 it went from nausea and just like a decrease in appetite to actual morning, or should I say all day sickness, like actually throwing up and not being able to keep anything down. I did switch my prenatal. I was taking this one in the beginning, and I had to switch it because I would take it, and the moment I would take it, it was like the lingering of the fish oil that's in the pill would stay with me all day, and I switched over to this one. I hope it focuses. The lighting is so bad. I switched over to this one. It's a little bit pricier, but if you ask me, it's so worth it because it actually contains ginger in it, and it's only made from fermented everything. Like, so it's really good for you, you know? But yes, I don't recommend this one. I still have it, yo no sé por qué, because I'm not gonna take it. It just doesn't sit well with me. Well, if we're gonna talk about morning sickness, we gotta call it what it is. It's all day sickness. It comes and it goes as it pleases. It takes over, and whoever gave it the title morning sickness, it had to be a guy because they don't experience it. You know what I mean? So, but I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things that I tried. I'm not saying that I suggest anything that I mentioned. I know that's the thing that I was asking in the mom groups, like, what has worked for you? I'm miserable, and it's hard to say that, you know, when you're just like so happy about being able to grow a life, but you just feel so lousy. The things that were recommended to me were these candies. I don't remember the name. I ordered them from Amazon, but they have B6 and ginger, and I'm not gonna say they were not effective. It tasted fine, not too sweet. You could really feel the ginger in them, but the issue with them was that they only worked while I was eating one. I'm sorry if you guys hear my girls in the background. You know, you ask for like a moment of quiet. It doesn't happen. But I also used our relaxation tea. I still use it to this day, especially when my stomach is not feeling the greatest. I'm not gonna say that, oof, it takes away the nausea, but it does help settle my stomach, and it helps me unwind and relax at the end of the day. Like I said, I'll put a picture of everything here, link below. And the Pedialyte popsicles, guys, because Gatorade is so sugary. When you just don't want anything, something so sweet doesn't sit well with me. Pedialyte in its like liquid form, but the Pedialyte popsicles are so cool, so refreshing, and they're not overly sweet. So I would keep those in the freezer like holy grail, to not for the nausea per se, but to help with like that excessive saliva, one, and electrolyte balancing as well. Because I had hyperemesis with my second pregnancy with Isabella, and it was horrible. I was constantly in the hospital, connected to an IV, and I just wanted to prevent that at all costs this time around. Like, there's nothing worse than really having to basically live in a hospital. Fast forward to week 8, that's when the headaches came in. And when I say headaches, it's like migraines. I mean, I grew up with migraines, so I know what they feel like, but it was so bad to the point where it's like lights off, everybody and that's it. What I found that helped me, and this I would recommend if you want to try before trying over-the-counter medications, is dabbing a little bit of peppermint oil and then just on the temples. Oh my goodness, that helped me so much. It still helps me to this day. Like, I don't go anywhere without my peppermint oil because I never know when it's gonna strike. And around week 9, I started getting the cramping. I thought it was so early for like round ligament pains, but apparently like when you're in your 3rd pregnancy, 4th pregnancy, like all these things happen so much sooner. Week 10, I just wrote down previous symptoms continued, because it's just like, that was another thing that was different from my other pregnancies, is that usually with the other 2, I would look at the app and the app would say you're supposed to be experiencing this week, and it really was like fair game with the app. This time around, it's like, no, everything, it was like a domino effect, kept coming on throughout the weeks, and then new ones added. But around week 10, we started announcing to immediate family over Zoom, because, you know, pandemic, and we live far, we live in a different state. But I waited till week 10. I just really wanted to feel at peace before announcing. And then for week 11, I'm telling you guys, it was just like a continuation, but it's not like if the time was passing by fast. Since I was not feeling the greatest, time was passing by immensely slow, and I was like hiding from social media because you could see on my face like all the blood vessels had ruptured from me vomiting so much, like the dark circles, like I was a hot mess central. And then fast forward to week 12, that's when we had our 12-week ultrasound. We got to see baby go from like a little dot to like having arms and wiggling around, and that was super exciting. We also had our NIP testing done. Thankfully everything came back good. Baby was growing nice and healthy. Baby continues to grow nice and healthy. Same thing with the ultrasound. The tech said that everything was looking great. Baby was being stubborn with her though. She did not want her bothering her in there. Around week 13, that's when we decided to announce on social media. You know, we had already had a lot of the testing done, and I was showing, so I'm like, okay, you know, now it's time. So we announced on social media. Symptoms that I had week 13 were acid reflux and heartburn. Sorry, I'm looking at the little thing because it's blinking. Acid reflux and heartburn, guys. Oh my goodness. With others who had started so much later in the game, but let's just say I was living on Tums. Sometimes I still am. And then week 14, which is said to be known as like the week of you start the 2nd trimester, you're in the 2nd trimester. I don't know, there's so much like talk about that. But in week 14, the breast pain had tripled. I remember finally feeling like I could wear pasties again. I did one day, and I ended up throwing them out that day because I was like, no, like the pain is so bad that just wearing a bra hurts. And then I had the smart idea of wearing pasties. Like, ma'am, no. Energy returned for like a blink of a moment. I was like, oh, like maybe as I'm going into the 2nd trimester, like my energy will come back. But that week it returned, and then it went away by the end of the week again. And then nausea started to be almost like on a clockwork schedule. Like it would only come in the evenings, and it still does that now. My appetite just decreases after like 4 o'clock. I don't really want anything to eat, and if I do say, okay, let me eat something because I should be eating, I end up getting sick. So I stick to like protein, you know, a protein shake, my meal replacement shake, Greek yogurt, things like that. Can't breathe. And week 14 is also when we had our Zoom gender reveal. It was just for our immediate family, and yeah, then we found out we were expecting our 3rd baby girl. And yeah, guys, so that would be my 1st trimester recap. I did want to make sure to mention at the end of this that don't beat yourself up if you're usually someone who's like on your A game about your health and fitness, and you're super active, you're not used to like taking that time to rest. I feel like it's really good that my pregnancy has taught me the importance of listening to my body again, because I'm usually, like I said, so go. But in my 1st trimester, like I wrote that down for you guys, like I focused on listening to my body, focused on, okay, I need to eat something. So bagels were my something, bread, what else? Crackers. Oh my God. At this point, I don't even like crackers anymore because I lived off of them for like the first 3 months. And when it comes to exercise, I think I tried twice, but my body was just so weak from not really eating and just everything happening in my body. I decided to say, you know what, when I go into my second trimester, if I feel better, then I'll add it back in, because forcing yourself to do so is not going to help anybody. You don't want to end up feeling even worse. Just focus on listening to your body and really taking care of your body and reminding yourself that you're creating a life, so it's okay. It's okay. I wanted to take the time to answer a few questions that you guys had. The first question is, whose pregnancy was the easiest? By far, like I don't even have to think of this. By far, the easiest pregnancy was my first with Camilla. Like, yes, I was younger, but I didn't have hyperemesis. I never had morning sickness. I think I threw up once, if that. I still had high energy throughout. I was pretty clumsy. That was the only thing I could say. With Camilla, I was pretty clumsy, but like my energy was high. I just felt normal. Like yes, I was growing a life, but I felt normal. The aches and pains were not nearly as bad. So yes, my first pregnancy. The next question is, did you have gender disappointment upon finding out that you were having another girl? No. I don't want to, how do I say this? I don't want to make anyone feel bad who has had gender disappointment. I know sometimes you just have your heart so set on like, I want a baby girl, I want a boy. I can honestly say that I did have a boy name and not a girl name. We're still working on the girl name, but I think that's because we have to, you know? But even with them, the baby's name didn't come till like 22 weeks. So I'm not stressed. I know upon finding out, I just remember telling Donnie, but what do I name her now? You know what I mean? But it wasn't like, oh, I don't want a girl. I kept seeing, it's like the universe or God was just like trying to tell me like it's another girl. Because I kept seeing on Instagram, like, three sisters, whether it was under the hashtag Mom of Girls or people that I follow, and just seeing that beautiful bond that they have and growing together. You know, I have sisters, but we didn't grow together. To see that up front and how you say that, up close and personal? Yes. So to see that up close and personal with my girls, and then just to add a new member to their little pack, like now they're going to be like the Powerpuff Girls, and it's just going to be, I know it's going to be super cute to see them grow up and always be there for each other and have each other's back. So that's mostly what excites me. And I mean, I'm a girl mom. Like, who am I kidding? Like, yes, a boy would have been nice, but like, I love doing their hair. I love dressing them up. You know, we do lots of like crafts and baking together. I'm not saying I'm Betty Crocker. Don't get that. Don't get it mixed up. But I enjoy doing those things with them. And who knows, you know, if it ever happens again, it might just be another girl. So I'm not going to set my heart on like, I want a boy. Next question. Which pregnancy did I show the fastest? This one. I'll keep my belly shot for my next update because I'm already 19 weeks. So it doesn't count for the first trimester. But if you want to see updated pics on Instagram, shameless plug. But yes, guys, with this one, I feel like as early as like 8-9 weeks, I was like, oh my God. I know in the beginning it's bloat, but I was like, holy moly, like how am I going to keep this under wraps till week 12? And it was hard. I was already wearing like loose fitting clothing. For someone who usually likes walking around in like high-waisted leggings and like a sports bra, I started covering up more because I'm like, there's no way to hide it. And I know it's because it's my third pregnancy, but I also think that something that comes into play is that I had, you know, I was on my weight loss journey. I had just lost 80 pounds over the span of 2 years. And so my body was already slimming down so much that now creating a life, it's like, okay, we need the curves again, you know? But I feel good. I'm feeling very, very confident. I have a haul coming for you guys soon, a maternity haul, because I really want to absorb every single moment, love every single moment, and feel good in my own skin, because I don't want to have pregnancy being such a beautiful thing take a toll on my mental health because of the weight. The weight is because I'm creating a life, and that goes for you as well. If you're feeling poorly about the weight gain or anything like that, or any comments that people are making, first of all, this is the year of not giving up what people have to say or what they think. And secondly, you're creating a life. You can't beat yourself up. If you're doing what you have to do to fuel yourself and baby, forget it. And the last question is, how has this pregnancy been different? One, the breast pain, like I mentioned, I never had that. I'm not usually the type of girl to even get that before my cycle. Right away, that for me was like, something is off, something is different. And the dry heaving, goodness gracious. Like, I mean, I don't think anyone enjoys vomiting, but I prefer it to dry heaving because at least you get relief. But with dry heaving, it's just like a constant like, you know what I mean? Like horrible. And then lastly, I would say the acid reflux and the heartburn starting so early on. I do think that it's because of like all the constant morning sickness, you know, probably not good for like the esophagus. But with my other two, it started like in the 3rd trimester. So, you know, but every pregnancy is different. I no longer believe in that like, oh, if your symptoms are different, then you're having the opposite. That's not true. That is not true, because all 3 of my pregnancies so far have been pretty different. And look, they're all 3 girls. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I know I'm talking a mile a minute. Believe it or not, this was my 2nd time recording this. My camera turned off. I was finished with the other one. But stay tuned. Like I said, I have some videos coming your way. I want to be super more consistent on here and just share more. Like, I'm tired of just holding myself back and being like, is anybody going to find this interesting? I know that my group is out there and we're going to connect with each other, and whether you're pregnant or not, like, come along for the ride. If you enjoyed this video, you know, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on my social media. I'm always active on Instagram, like, todos los días.
Bye! Alright, it's funny how in my last video, I was like, ella perrea sola, and now